Hi, I'm Phil Curry. This presentation introduces the opportunity for Australian agricultural commodities to be value added in regional locations as a means of strengthening regional communities and the Australian economy. Australian agriculture, the way it has evolved, is focused on the very efficient production, storage and transportation of commodities, mostly for international markets, and which are exported pretty much in the same form as they are harvested. The focus on efficiency and production and transport has made Australian agriculture an extremely competitive sector and one which contributes significantly to the Australian economy. However, the very nature of farming means that most farmers are price takers rather than price makers, and of course, any commodity that is exported is also exposed to foreign currency exchange rate fluctuations, which can have a huge impact on the Australian dollars received by Australian farmers. I think it is fair to say that the Australian agricultural industry has a culture of being production oriented, which of course is a good thing because it has contributed to the efficiencies that have made the industry great. However, it is also fair to say that by adopting a greater degree of market orientation, in addition to the emphasis on production orientation and efficiencies, greater long-term security for the industry can be achieved. One way to achieve greater security for the industry is to increase the amount of commodity value adding that is undertaken within Australia. Whilst value adding means different things to different people, I like to keep it simple. My definition is to create food and fibre products ready for customers and consumers anywhere in the world who are willing and able to pay the price premiums required to allow the Australian producers and value adders to remain profitable regardless of the peaks and troughs in currency fluctuations. However, for this to be of a scale to make a real contribution to the Australian economy, two things are needed. The first is that the industry sectors and organisations involved need to better understand what it means to be market oriented and to adopt the actions required to achieve the well-evidenced benefits of being market oriented. The second is that regions need to establish strong provenance branding under which individual product brands can sit and which will attract agritourism into the regions. Of course, securing such market positions and changing the cultures of an industry and organisations within the agricultural sector is not without its challenges. However, I think it is a simple truth that for the long-term benefit of the industry and the country, it is worth the effort. This is a list of the specific actions that I believe need to be undertaken to truly establish successful and sustainable value-adding enterprises in regional locations. These are just a starting point, and I'm sure you can think of others. The first step in developing any sort of a marketing plan, including one that defines the future of Australian regional value adding at a national, regional or even individual company level, is to understand the market opportunities as defined by consumer trends and the competitive environment. This cannot be a simple overview of the market, but really needs to provide detailed insights into the current and future needs and wants of segments of consumers to define the products that will succeed in the long term. Then of course we have to understand the competitive environment to identify attractive market niches anywhere in the world that will pay premium prices for what Australian producers can uniquely supply. At the same time as market research is being undertaken, I believe it is important to undertake a review of our current production systems and to decide what crops and animals can be produced and are most appropriate for the future, given the impact of climate change on agriculture, and which match the market opportunities identified. The simple truth here is that the commodities and farming systems that have worked in the past may not be right for the future. The biggest challenge with value adding is to identify and develop products which will allow the intellectual property to be protected, which uniquely satisfy the wants and needs that are identified, and that can be produced with world best practice efficiency within Australia. Simple to say, but challenging to achieve. However, once this has been set as the objective, resources can be correctly focused to achieve it. One of the things that I have learned in my career is that it is important to co-create products in collaboration with international partners to ensure that all aspects of the product are designed to suit the market for which they are destined, and that the marketing activities are appropriate to ensure success in those markets. Finding the right international partners and collaborating with them as early as the initial market research and product development phase is the first step in securing attractive markets anywhere in the world. Whilst the same fundamental product is produced in Australia, it is very likely that variations will be required to things like package size, labelling, flavours and other characteristics to suit specific market needs. Identifying and collaborating with international partners is a specialist skill, and this also needs to be developed within businesses hoping to succeed internationally with value-added products. Of course, securing attractive export markets is only half the battle. There's no point investing significant funds, capturing and securing customers and consumers in international markets just to lose them because their needs and desires change or because a competitor displaces your product offering. The two things that are required to achieve long-term sustained market positions in international markets are a continual investment in new product development led by regular, informal and formal market research and the creation of strong regional provenance branding to further protect the integrity of the intellectual property associated with the individual product brands. Not only will the brands of the exported product be protected, but strong regional branding will also serve as an umbrella to attract tourists into the regional locations and contribute to increased opportunities for agritourism. It is difficult, of course, to predict all of the benefits of achieving a country-wide, industry-wide and organisational culture change that allows the adoption of a market orientation in addition to a strong production orientation, which is the foundation of our strong agricultural industry. However, it is easy to imagine that the number of direct and indirect jobs that will be created as value-adding enterprises are established will be significant. Of course, as regional areas attract value-adding businesses, they will need to secure international markets, and this will contribute favourably to Australia's balance of trade. As strong provenance branding is established, agritourism and general tourism ventures will be established, and this will create further employment and stronger regional brands. By creating value-added products, Australian food security will also be further enhanced. Finally, of course, this type of success requires high-level skills in the areas of domestic and international marketing, business management, food and fibre processing system design, and new product development, which means that the Australian skill base in these areas will be further enhanced, and as a consequence be able to be transferred into and from other industries within the country. Thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation. I'm personally very excited about the opportunity of being involved with value-adding enterprises, either at a business level, regional level or national level, and welcome inquiries from anyone who would like to have discussions about how we can make this happen.